Hi, boys and girls. This is Grandma Sheila with another story for you. Our story today is called Just Like Everybody Else. Have you ever thought that? Wanting to be just like everybody else? Well, let's get on with the story. TJ, he was standing outside of the shower. He looked at the clock. It had been 10 minutes, and Mom wasn't there to help him. Well, he was worried. He knew that Mom knew how bad he wanted to be on time to the art show today. What could she be doing? Well, finally he decided that he should make his way over to the closet, maybe pick out a shirt. That would save some time. Well, he finally decided on his red t-shirt. That was his favorite. And when Mom hadn't come, he'd started to reach up with his teeth to pull it off the hanger. And just then, Mom came in. She said, "Oh, I'm so sorry, TJ. The phone rang. I got this call. I had to talk to the people. I'm so sorry. We'll hurry." So Mom helped him get dressed. Well, Mom said, "Now don't you worry about that art show. I know that last rooster that you painted looks so real, it looks like it could crow on its own." Mom laughed at her own joke. TJ, he just hoped that the things that he had done were good enough. The art show was something that his grandmother did. She was an artist, and she would have shows where she showed her artwork and people could buy it. Well, he was so glad that Grandma liked his artwork and had asked him if he wanted to show part of it there at her art show. He couldn't wait to get there. They finally got in the car to go, Dad and Mom and his sister and TJ. Well, it was a little ways to get to town to that big building where they were doing the exhibits of the art. So he was sitting in the back and he started to think about his own situation. TJ had been born without any arms. Can you imagine? Well, he was thinking about it. He didn't have any arms, and his back, his spine, had what they called scoliosis. And instead of going up and down like you and I do, his went this way. And because of that, when he was a tiny little boy, the doctor had put a long metal rod in his back to make it so he could stand up straight, or at least kind of straight. And you know, people sometimes, well, they said things, and it wasn't fun to be different than everybody else. And he was thinking about that. He was remembering the time when his sister's girlfriends came over to visit, and his sister probably hadn't told them that he didn't have any arms, and that he ate with his toes. He could hold his fork with his toes. And sometimes he used his teeth to pick up things with. Well, he was real good at using what he had, but her girlfriends were staring so bad they nearly ran into the wall. And then he remembered when they had gone to a restaurant. His family didn't go to a restaurant very often because people would stare. And He remembered the night that he had put his foot up to pick up his fork to eat with, and the people in the restaurant had just seemed to be shocked that anyone would eat with their feet. He was thinking about all that, and then he remembered one of the things his mother had told him. She had said, "This is the way you are, and to God you're special. You're just extra special. And if you use everything that you have, you'll be great." He's been trying to do that. His father had said, "You should try karate classes." Now, the instructor, he thought he was being kind, and he said to TJ's father, he said, "Maybe we should put him in the disabled persons class." But TJ would have none of that. He said, "I can do it." Now, TJ's 10. It wasn't too long till the other kids in that karate class learned that he could do more with his feet than they could do with 2 arms and 2 hands and their feet. He was pleased that he was good at something. And his parents had last year bought him a 700-piece Lego set and said, "Get busy." 10 hours later, he had made the most wonderful creation out of those 700 pieces of Legos using just his teeth and his feet. Well, he felt like, just like Mom had told him to do, he did the best he could with what he had. Well, then they were in town at that big building with the art show. Well, TJ couldn't wait to get out. As soon as the door was open, he slithered right out. And his dad said, "Just wait, we're coming, you're not going to be late." Well, on the way there, TJ saw a little girl with her mother. And the little girl went, "Mom, look at that boy. He doesn't have any arms. Mom, what happened to his arms?" Well, TJ was kind of used to this. He really didn't like it, but he was used to it. And he turned to the little girl and he smiled. And he said, "My arms are in heaven." Well, his mother said, "That's a better answer than when you told that little boy that you left him home in the closet." Well, they were there now, and they got to the big room where the art exhibit was going to be. TJ looked around. There was already a large group of people, and right in the middle of that crowd of people was his grandmother. And she saw TJ, and she raised her hand to all the people, and she said, "Look, there's my grandson, and he has lots of artwork here. He does not have any arms or hands, so he does all of his artwork either using his teeth to hold a pencil or using his feet to paint with. And I think that he paints better than some people that have 2 hands." Well, the people, they started to clap. TJ wondered what was going to happen with this, but that crowd of people started coming over and looking at all TJ's artwork. That painting of the rooster that looked so alive was the first one to sell, and bunches and bunches and bunches till in the afternoon there was not one piece of TJ's artwork left. His grandmother came over to him and she hugged him and she said, "You're doing better at this art show than I am. Mine's not selling as well as yours." Well, TJ was really glad. That was how he started TJ's artwork sales. And he sold almost as much artwork as he could make. And he started contributing lots of what he made to the Ronald McDonald House. Boys and girls, do you know what that is? That is a big house that has been built close to large medical centers. It houses the moms and dads of chronically ill children or children with cancer, and it gives the parents a place to stay so they can be close to their children in the hospital. That was a wonderful thing for him to contribute money to. TJ would have loved to have been like everybody else, born with 2 hands and 2 arms and a straight back. But look what he did with his life. Now he's in high school and he's doing very well. He has prosthetic arms now, but a lot of times he leaves them home in his closet for real, just because he said, "It's easier for me to just be me." He spent his whole life writing with his feet and his teeth, and he's good at it. And although there are some cruel people out there that still think he's an oddity, the kids at the high school don't think that. He's doing the best he can. Matter of fact, better than some of them with what he has. And you know that the kids in the high school did? They invented something as a gift for TJ. And do you know what it was? It was a hot air dryer that was on a post that TJ could stand in front of after he took his shower and get dry that way. You know, it's hard when you don't have hands. The simplest things that we do every day are hard. But TJ, he didn't let that bother him. And you know what he says now? He said, "God is going to finish me or complete me. When he comes and I get to heaven, I'm going to be perfect, just like God would have originally wanted me to be." Boys and girls, today I want you to be thankful for everything you have and all the parts of your body that work. I want you to remember TJ and how he accomplishes more than a lot of people do without complaining. And he uses the talents that God gave him. And that's what I want you to do. And you know, when we do get to go to heaven, when Jesus comes, Jesus is going to fix all those problems that you and I and children like TJ have. That will be a wonderful day. Thank you, boys and girls, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.